What's going on? It's Kevin with Optimize Essentials, and it's been a long time since I made a video. This video is going to be on bodybuilding, some techniques on how to grow and develop your chest, because I know a lot of people have trouble feeling their chest, and if your shoulders are rounded, if you have bad posture, your chest will never grow. So how do you develop your chest? How do you go about it? But before then, I want to make a few statements, preface what I'm about to share, and also make some share my thoughts to kind of help make my point more clear. So first, I want to acknowledge that obviously I am not the biggest guy at the gym. I'm not big at all. I'm nowhere close to my goals. However, I'm probably the only guy also who doesn't take protein shakes or supplements. I want to do this all organically, not even naturally. I want to do this all organically. I just want to use food, whole foods and everything to reach my fitness goals. And as many of you guys do or do not know, I've suffered with a kind of a congenital issue. I haven't really shared this publicly, but it limits my structure. The whole left side of my body has been acting up, has been kind of out of alignment, and from literally my ankle, my knees, my hips, all the way to my shoulders are kind of messed up, which is why I've taken a detour into posture, and I posted a lot of videos on posture. So that's the second thing I want to preface. If you do all these exercises, which I promise you are the best techniques, they're guaranteed to work, despite me looking like a guy who probably doesn't lift. They do work. You're free to test this yourself. You'll probably get even better results, because if you do happen to use protein shakes or supplements like creatine, glutamine, and all those other I wouldn't say they're good stuff, but they're synthetically made, which is why I don't plead to use them. I have nothing against them. I just don't believe in being natural when you're using substances that was created in a laboratory and whatnot. But that's going to be a story for another day. I know I'm going to get some people who support me and some people who don't. Either way, you're free to use them whether you're not. I'm not going to judge you for using them. I do think they work. They give that extra 5 to 10% boost that many guys who are competing at top levels could use. Anyhow, I have nothing against supplements. I just personally don't take them. You can use them yourself. You probably will get a really good results if you combine the techniques that I'm sharing with you today with what you're going to use. But I do recommend, I highly recommend that you take a look at my other videos on posture, because the reason why I'm also staggering or not able to hit my goals, my goal, by the way, is to hit my genetic limit, my genetic potential in terms of being the most biggest or leanest that I can be, which is around 180 pounds to 8% body fat. I'm at 160 right now, so you can see how much more work I have to do. But basically, one of the biggest hindrances, one of the biggest obstacles that I've faced personally is structural limitation. So what happens about structural a structural limitation is when your body is not structurally sound, such as bad posture by an elevation of your shoulders, or your pelvis is rotated, or there's some deviation within your posture that's not allowing your body to perform at its highest level. And if you do not do stretches, if you do not do any type of work to help balance out your posture, you can't physically achieve the highest level of symmetry or proportions, because your body is off of balance. It just doesn't make sense. So if you feel like you have good posture, if you feel like you already incorporate stretches, mobility, and flexibility exercises, feel free to use this information to your discretion. I'm disclosing this now. I'm sharing all my secrets just in case, for whatever rare event that I can't share this in the future and that I'm deviated from my goal. I have this out here. So I filmed this a while back. I never decided to share it until now. So, best to all the people who are using it, and let's get right into it. This is going to be a very detailed guide on how to grow and develop your chest. Okay, so the very first thing I want to show you guys is the walnut squeeze, all right? This is what I call the walnut squeeze. It's an activation for your chest, because I know a lot of people do not know how to feel their chest. So simply what you want to do first is clasp your hands together, kind of like how I've done over here. I'm going to play the video so you know what I'm talking about, but basically you want to raise your hands, clasp together around chest level so that they're right in front of your chest. And then from here, you're going to push your hands together while focusing in your chest, trying to crack or squeeze a walnut, all right? And from here, you can see that there's some activation in the fibers of my chest. This is what you want to do to engage your chest, and I'll explain behind the idea behind how to engage your chest in further videos, because if you can't engage your chest, you can't recruit all the muscle fibers, all right? So this is what you want to do. So press into it a few times. Each time I inhale or exhale, I take a big breath, and then I exhale, and then I squeeze it together, all right? And then you can play around with the angles, kind of how I'm doing here, just pumping around and left and right, left and right. That will allow you to hit the inner fibers of your chest, all right? So if you notice that I'm going up over here, you can see that I'm hitting the chest at a different angle. You can see that right in here. Oop, wrong one. Right in here, you can see the activation of my chest happen a lot more. That's because I'm pressing up. I'll show you in another video how the activation, I can show you more clearly what I'm talking about. But now I'm just playing around with, after activating my chest, what it feels like to move my chest across midline to get some of the inner fibers in my chest. So let me pull up another video real quick so you guys have a better idea of what I'm talking about. Alright, okay, so here's the other video I was talking about. This is the one where I kind of play around more with the angle. So to hit the higher portions of your chest, you want to go up at an angle. And if you can notice, if I pull it back real quick, I gotta catch it at the right angle. You'll see right here that the very upper fibers of my chest, it's very, very prominent, right? Because I'm pushing up. I'm pushing up at an angle. If you guys want to target your upper chest, you want to hit from high or low to high. Whenever you're going low to high, you're going to hit the upper portions of your chest. And if you want to cross the midline, you'll hit the inner upper portions of the chest, if that makes sense. Then let me continue. All right. And then now if you go towards the middle, you can see that the chest no longer hits the upper portion, but now it's more the insides right in here. And then to hit your lower chest, you want to go down. That's why we have a decline press, right? You can see that the emphasis is more on the lower portions of my chest. Whichever that you do, you will be hitting all of the whole chest if you know how to engage it properly, hence the activation exercise. But there are different exercises and different angles you can hit your chest at, which I'll be explaining thoroughly today in all of the techniques that I'm sharing with you. But basically, if you want to hit your upper chest, you want to go from low to high. If you want to hit your middle chest, you just want to cross the midline and go at a kind of midline between the upper and lower movements. And then if you want to hit your lower chest, anywhere from high to low. Any movement that brings you from like a decline movement will help engage that lower portions of your chest. All right, so that's the activation and the different angles you want to be hitting. Now let's jump into the exercises so that you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first exercise I'm going to show you is the flat bench. So the first two exercises actually are going to be barbell exercises, and a lot of people will tell you barbell is not a great way to develop your chest. However, it depends. It really depends on whether or not you can actually feel your chest. I think barbell exercises are the best way to grow thickness in your chest, as in to grow some kind of meat, to pack on some really nice broad chest muscles. However, which is why I want to reiterate this point again. It's very, very, very important that you have good posture, because if you don't have adequate posture, as in your shoulders are rounded forward, which means your chest muscles are tight. If your chest muscles are excessively tight, it's going to pull your shoulder into a rounded forward position, and that puts your shoulder mechanics, your shoulder joint, in a compromised position. And that's why a lot of people who bench a lot have a lot of shoulder impingements, because their shoulder is shifted forward, and because of that, if you keep on strengthening already tight muscle, not only is it harder to feel your chest, but it creates more dysfunction, and as a result, it kind of pulls your shoulder joint into different positions that otherwise wouldn't be. So you want to make sure you can really open up your chest, how I'm doing here, because if you can't do this, then you can't fully activate and feel your chest. So remember, focus on having good posture, and then when you have good posture that you can fully retract your back muscles, as I'm doing here, then you can activate and feel your chest more. So what I like to do to start feeling my chest is when I jump onto the flat bench, I take my hands and I grab underneath the bar right below the bench so that I can really open up and pop my chest out. So what I'm doing here is I'm creating some width in my chest. So notice how I'm really pulling up myself and pulling my shoulder blades back and down. You'll see a lot of power lifters do this. This allows them to get maximum support. They have a 3-point contact. One is on their shoulder blades, one is on their glutes, and one is on the ground with their feet. This allows maximum support throughout your whole body, no energy leaks. This allows you to push heavy weights. So if you can push heavy weights with controlled form, which is what I'm about to show you, then you can grow more thickness in your chest. If you want inner chest development, more full fiber development, you're going to want to focus on isolation movements like the dumbbell movements. However, I don't want to talk too much about that. I'll explain it more in detail. But right now I'm positioning myself by really pulling together and maximizing my chest. And if you saw right there, I was just practicing what I was showing you. I was focusing on engaging my chest by doing a few body weight movements where I was kind of practicing the activation. So you notice right there my chest just moved, right? So watch that again. Boom. So I did that because I wanted to make sure I can feel my chest, and I didn't lose any of my back retraction while I was doing this. Now, how wide you want to grip your hands depends on how wide your clavicle is. Some people have wider clavicles. Clavicle is a bone right below your neck. It's that very first bone you encounter right above your chest and below your neck. Depending on how long your clavicle is, how wide you can flare your elbows. This is something you have to play around with. Generally, I find a little bit wider than about 45 degrees is adequate to activate your chest. I'll explain what I mean by showing you what I'm doing. So I am rack it carefully so that I don't lose the squeeze in my back. It's really, really important that once you've pulled your back and stretched out your chest, that you don't lose it by unracking the bar. You want to maintain that as much as you can by carefully unracking the bar. And then you want to inhale and control the weight down. And as you're pressing up, it's like you're focusing only on your chest to squeeze the bar up. You don't want to focus on anything else. So notice right now, I'm not massively pressing a lot of weight because I want full mind-muscle connection. I want to inhale, control it down, and really focus on using my chest to pump the weight. Remember, guys, nice and slow controlled movements will produce better results than just pushing weight. And then you'll see in a little bit, I really focus on getting that contraction going by pulsating. So here I go, get a deep stretch in the chest, and then I'm pulsating the weight. That is how you feel your chest when you do barbell flat bench press, because a lot of people don't know how to feel their chest while they're doing this. It's because you're doing too much weight. Start with just the bar. I recommend just doing the bar. Don't worry about what other people think, because if you can perfect this form at just the bar, 25 pounds, 45 pounds, if you can bring this over to your heavy weights, that's when you'll get massive gains. Now, obviously, why don't I have the big gains or big muscles ripped? Well, it's because, again, posture. I'll show you in a little bit. My shoulder is off, which is shortly after this filming session, about a month or two, is when I stopped going as hard in the gym because I needed to fix my body first. So remember, guys, fix your posture, focusing on activating your chest before the movement so you can actually feel and engage your chest. And then when you go through the motions, make sure they're nice and controlled, and focus only on the muscle being moved. And notice pulsation, controlled down, exhale, controlling up. Everything is just only on my chest. All right, so let's jump to the next exercise so you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, so the second exercise, the second barbell exercise, is the incline barbell press. Now, how do you set it up? Well, I'm about to show you right now. If you don't have the thing where I was talking about for the flat bench, the pole that you can kind of stick your arms underneath, there's another way you can do it, because some bench presses don't have that, and you're going to have to use the bar. So this requires practice. You won't get it in the first try, which is why you want to make sure you practice all of this, and also make sure you have good posture so that you can actually pull and retract your shoulder blades together. So what I do is I like to grip my hand, find my placement first. Usually I'd like to do about let's see, index finger on the ring if I'm trying to get a wider chest development, or I'm trying to do pinky on the ring if I want a thicker, better squeeze on my chest. So if I want a thicker, better squeeze on my chest, I go closer with my hand grip. If I want a wider chest grip, I go further with my hand grip. So it really depends, again, on your clavicle. But basically what I just did there was I popped my chest out by holding onto the bar and then pulling my shoulder blades together and popped my chest out. But what you want to do from here is you want to grip on to the bar and then pop your chest out and pull your shoulder blades together. That's how you set it up without the platform to tuck your hand underneath. And then from there, all you have to do is just set yourself up, and then from here, pop your chest up like how I showed you right here. Pop your chest up and then pull your shoulder blades back and down, back and down, back and down. That is how you develop, or that's how you open up your chest and set up a position for the incline bench or the flat bench if you don't have a platform to stick your hand underneath. All right, so let's go ahead and keep playing the video. Okay, so from here, unrack the bar slowly and then inhale and control it down. Now I'm going to point some things out to you and bring your awareness to what I was talking about earlier about my shoulders being off. If you pay really close attention, this form is really, really sloppy, right? So as I'm going down, you notice that the bar isn't going straight back up. It's wobbling all over the place, right? It's going from here to here to here. All right, let's take a look and really see that. Okay, so let's there. So why do I point this out to you? Because again, posture. If you don't have good posture, if you have an elevated shoulder, or if you have one muscle that's more tight than the other, you're going to have imbalances in the way you lift. Although my form is somewhat controlled over here, if you pay really close attention, what you'll notice is, actually I won't even ask, can you notice anything off about the bar? Well, yes, it's slanted, right? You can see the bar, oh man, the bar is slanting downwards. And if you still don't really see that, I want to bring your attention to my shoulders. Right here. Oop. Do you see that? Compare this shoulder to this shoulder. Whoa, massive difference. Now, if you ever wonder why one side goes lower than the other or goes higher than the other, when you're lifting, it's because there's muscle imbalances. And if you don't address your muscle imbalances, whether it's because it's caused by what's going on at the hips or something that's going up at the shoulders, you want to make sure you attack those first, or else you're going to set yourself up for injury, just like I did here. And if you don't know, as I explained earlier, everything from my ankle all the way up to my knees, to my hips, to my shoulders are experiencing issues. And shortly after this, I decided to go a little bit slower in terms of my weightlifting, which is why I'm stagnating, and it kills me inside that I'm not where I'm at. But again, it's all about the process, so it's all good. It really hinders you when you're injured. So trust me, guys, do not overlook this. Once you get injured, or you're having pain and stiffness or shoulder impingement because you're not listening to what I'm telling you, and you're coming back to watch these videos on my posture, it's going to be already too late. But anyhow, not to get too much into posture, because this is how to develop your chest. I just want to bring awareness to posture. Yeah, bring awareness to posture, get all that fixed as much as you can so that you don't come back into crying in pain and asking me how you can fix this. I will post my results once I start to fix my body or put in a better position so that you guys can benefit from my knowledge and experience. But basically what you want to be doing when you're doing the incline bench press is you want to be controlling the weight down with your chest and really focusing on all of your tension on getting a stretch in this upper fiber, all right? All I think about as I'm going down is not using my arms, but focusing on how can I stretch my chest open. All right, you can't really see the striations here. You'll see it a little bit better as the angle changes, but I'm just controlling it. So right about here, you can see the striations a lot better in my chest, right? So I'm gripping index finger on the ring just so I can get a wider chest development. So the ring is right about here, and that's where my index finger is. If I want a thicker inner chest development, then I go for pinky on the ring. So my pinky will be about right here. If I want inner chest development from upper chest, normally I usually do wider chest just so I could get a deeper striation right here, if you haven't noticed. That's how I like to do my chest exercises. I do a lot of push-ups for my inner chest development, or I'll show you, there's a bunch of exercises I can show you, but let's get right into it. All right, so that is how you can feel your chest a lot more. You just want to inhale, control it down. Imagine that this weight is super heavy. Even though you're using just the bar, you want to go as slow as you can. Imagine you're trying to use your chest to prevent the bar from stacking or pretty much kind of going down on you, right? So it's a really heavy bar, and you're controlling it down to prevent the bar from smashing your neck into pieces, and that is how you can really stretch and feel your upper chest. So controlled movements, pulsate it up, and really control, focusing all of your attention on the chest. Okay, so third exercise. Now we're getting into the dumbbells, the isolations. This is how you can feel your chest a lot more if you execute it properly. I'm going to teach you how to do really quick the incline dumbbell press, really similar to the barbell press, except you have the dumbbells individually, and I'm going to show you what you can do to really maximize your muscle contraction in terms of feeling your chest and get the best benefit from dumbbell movements. All right, so what you want to do, you grab two dumbbells. Getting it up, there's a few different ways, but to get it up, I pop it up with my knees. However, first, even before how you get it up, I want to show you what I'm doing right here. So if you notice right now, I am leaning forward and I am pulling my shoulder blades together, right? I'm practicing the shoulder blades back and chest out movement just so I can really focus on feeling how I can engage my chest. So from that moment, lean forward, have the dumbbells in my hand. I take a deep breath, and then I get ready to lean back and I pop it up, right? So right here, a little bit more stabilization, keeping everything nice and tight, and then big breath, pop one, pop and two, and then from there, I hold it up. And then you'll see me adjust a little bit. Right now, once you lean back, your back isn't going to be completely solid against the bench. You will need to pull your shoulder blades back and then down a little bit more, which you'll see me do. At least I think that's what you'll see me do. Yeah, so I kind of scooted a little bit if you didn't see that. Once I adjusted myself going down, I kind of made it snugged in a little bit more to keep everything nice and tight. And then from here, same exact thing. I already have my chest squeezed. If you really take a look right here, right in here, right? So the activation in my chest has already started. You don't do it before or as you're going down, you do it before you go down. That's why I mentioned to you, make sure you really focus on contracting and squeezing your chest with the walnut squeeze. That'll teach you how to activate your chest prior to the movement. So right there, I have everything squeezed, engaged, activated, and from that point on, all you have to do is inhale and control the weight down. All right, so inhale, control the weight down, and then exhale, control the weight up. And then as you're going up, you can already see the squeeze in my chest happening, right? The key here is to really focus on only feeling your chest and controlling the movement with your chest. A lot of people do this movement way too fast, no mind-muscle connection. Again, little weights, controlled movements, and that's how you really activate and feel your chest. You can see right there, really decent squeeze, all right? So once again, guys, slow controlled movements, pulsating, and focusing only on your chest, light weights, and that is how you do the dumbbell incline press. Okay, so next up is the flat dumbbell press. All right, so with the flat dumbbell press, I want to show you a little technique that you can do to really feel your chest a lot more, and it's doing a slight twist at the top. All right, so as of right now, you probably get the idea. You want to engage your chest. If you don't know, now you know. Again, right here, chest is already engaged before I even go down. I do this by really squeezing at the top, walnut squeeze, and then from here, same thing. Inhale, control down, feel a stretch in your chest. So the angle of your arm, just if you guys don't know yet, really depends on how it feels on your shoulder joint right here. Some people can get away with going wider, but for me, I find that going out, so it's the midpoint between 45 and 90 degrees. So right now, 90 degrees would be in here, and then 45 degrees would be in there, and then 90 degrees would be straight out here. So I'm right in between, as you can see where my arm is. That's how I like my angle the most. I feel like I can engage my chest the most and not hurt my shoulder. So that is something you have to play around with. It really depends on your arm length. It depends on your shoulder, the position of your shoulder, how well your posture is, and whether or not you can go deep enough without your shoulder blades feeling like they're about to pop out. All right. So with that being said, play around with it, but you want to make sure maximum contraction on your chest depends on how well you can pull your shoulder blades together. All right. So now let's go ahead and watch how you do this. So at the top, you want to squeeze and twist. So you can't really see that here, but once we change the angle, you'll see that a little bit more. So right there, right? So at the top, I twist the weight upwards. Can you see? Right here. So as I'm twisting that upwards, I'm focusing on feeling my chest. So right now, my boobs are pretty squeezed right now, right? You can see really good activation, especially in this one. It's popping up. You can really see that. So your goal is to focus on the squeeze by twisting up with the dumbbell. So inhale, control the weight down. So once again, let's look at the arm positioning right here. It's out about, let's say this is around 70 degrees. Remember, 90 is straight out here and 45 is right in here. Okay, so I'm about 70 degrees right here. So let's go ahead and watch the rest of this. The top, twist and squeeze. I'm focusing only on my chest. And then you can also modify this movement, and some people feel their chest more by bringing their feet up onto the bench. You can give that a try. You do this by tucking your butt under, flattening out your back so that you're not killing your lower back by excessively arching. And then some people even like to put their feet up. It really depends on how much you can feel your chest. If you feel like that works a lot better, then go ahead, by all means, try it out. All right, next exercise, the isolations where you will feel your chest most likely the most. I'm going to show you how to really isolate your chest on the chest fly machine, and do that by doing one arm at a time, single arm flies, single arm chest flies. So go ahead and set yourself up onto the chest fly machine. You want to make sure when you're doing this, you're kind of slanting and positioning yourself at an angle. So you can't exactly see that here, but my body is slightly tilted outwards this way. So right now I'm using my left arm, so my body is rotating to the right. I'm tilting my legs, my hips to the right side. More of my left leg, left glute is on the bench, and that is how I can really isolate and feel my chest. So from this motion, all you have to do is let your arms stretch. So make sure the back of your shoulder, kind of like rear delts, slightly shoulder blades, are pinned down into the bench. And then from there, you focus on using your chest to pull the motion in. All right, so as you're going back, inhale, feel a stretch on your chest. And then as you're coming out, exhale and squeeze. All right. Really simple movement. Make sure you guys really concentrate all on feeling your chest. And then once you've gotten that down, you're going to do both sides. So when you do both sides, your goal is to really, again, pop your body out. Man, Jesus. Always messing this up. So get your body out at an angle. That way you can really get that deep squeeze in your chest as you're coming out. Because if your body is pushed in this way, when you come in this way, you can add a really deep squeeze. All right, so that's how you do it. And let me show you. Oh, what happened there? There you go. So push in, squeeze, inhale, control back. And that is how you do the single arm chest fly. Okay, now we're going to do a single arm chest press on the machine. I love doing this exercise just whenever I want a deep inner squeeze in my inner chest, as in this portion. Oh man, come on guys. I hope you are not witnessing this for the 5th time. I messed up. Okay, so the deep inner chest, that inner border, that inner line that many guys talk about or want, this is how you get it. So this is what you want to do when you want to develop the inner portion of your chest. You do this by really pushing and squeezing, by positioning yourself one side again on the angle on the chair. As you can see, if you take a look, my body is turned out once again so that I can really get a deep squeeze at the top. So let's see this in action. So right there, you can see really clear definition of what my chest is doing, the activation in the lines, if you can see that, because my body is positioned inwards. All right, so the angle is all what matters when it comes to activation of your chest. All right, so that's pretty much it. You want to make sure you position yourself at an angle, and then when you're squeezing, really squeeze and hold at the top for a split second. That way you can get maximum engagement and activation in your chest. So this is a single arm chest press machine. Make sure you try this out to get deep squeezes in your chesticles. All right, we're almost close to the end. Are you guys exhausted yet with all the chest knowledge that I'm dropping on you? I hope you guys actually enjoy watching this, no matter how detailed it is, because I do have a tendency to go really in depth. However, I feel that if you really take the time to absorb this information, you can shave off a lot of years in your bodybuilding training or your physique development, whatever you want to call it. Or I want to share with you all the secrets so that if anything happens to my body in the future so that I can't train, you guys know exactly what to do. And yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to know is there are 3 different ways you can set up your chest flies. I'll be showing you all 3. The first one is from high to low. Oh my God! Okay, all right. Keeping it cool. All right, high to low, right there. So high to low, you'll get lower chest development. Remember, as I was talking about, the next one is going to be middle, which is going to allow you to get inside a little bit more. The last one is going to be high or low to high. And I'm going to show you all this in action so you can really see. So one of the keys here is notice how I am crossing the midline, right? So crossing the midline and then touching. So middle, upper crosses over the lower, middle, and then lower crosses the upper. So I'm switching and alternating it so that I can really get a deep stretch in the chest or squeeze in the chest, as you can see. And then the next exercise I'm going to do is the middle. If you haven't seen it changed a little bit right here, I'm in the middle section of, man, guys, you guys got to help me out. Okay, so the middle portion right here, and you can see that, you know, I started above here and then now it's in the middle. Now we're going to get back right into it. Same thing, you want to cross over. So right now I'm touching the middle, and then the next one I'm going above and below. So this allows full contraction of your chest by crossing the middle line. When you do that, you can get a really deep squeeze in your chest. And then finally, to hit your upper chest, you're gonna drop it down to the lowest one, and you're gonna go low to high. And this is where you'll really feel that upper portion. Although I don't do this as much, I normally do the high to low and kind of middle portion just so I can get a better squeeze. This one I kind of feel my shoulders a little bit, so I kind of stay away from it. But as you can see, when you do this correctly, you can really activate that upper chest. So that's all for the cable flies. You want to start from high, go to middle to low, and then go all the way back up, and that is what you can do to really engage your chest. Cable fly is one of the best exercises that I found to really get soreness and feel my chest. And after that, we're going to top things off with one final workout. Get ready for it. Drum roll. Da-da-da, the final exercise. All right, finally we have arrived. The final exercise for your chest, the good old push-up. Not just any push-up though, the push-up on a bench, on a back extension machine, which I prefer more. However, a bench could work just as fine. There's a simple technique that I want to share with you that will allow you to engage your chest. I will make a separate video on how to engage your chest with push-ups. However, this one is going to help you engage your chest pretty well because I'm going to show you something pretty neat. All right, so set yourself up on a push-up machine and get ready to push your chest. So from here, what I'm focusing on is the deep squeeze in my chest, all right, especially at the top of the movement. Getting it right this time with the pen. Oh yeah, I'm focusing on just my chest, all right. Every time I'm going up, I'm focusing on collapsing my chest. I'm focusing on squeezing these two pecs together like that. Cool. As I'm going down, I'm focusing on inhaling and controlling it down. And then at the top, I'm squeezing. So here's the sick trick I was talking to you about. Now you're going left to right, one side at a time, how I'm twisting my body at the top. That is going to really engage the deeper inside portions of your chest. We're putting it all together. That's all why you've been seeing me in the beginning doing the walnut squeeze, pushing around This is how you actually engage your whole chest and do it functionally by doing the push-up. So guys, that is all I wanted to share with you. I hope you've gained some serious knowledge with how to develop your chest. And once again, you want to make sure you try all of these workouts, play around with them until you get them really good.